Hi all, I am Ayana Sunil, an assistant professor of the Department of Travel and Tourism, St. Albans College Autonomous, Ernakulam. Today, I'd like to discuss on the topic Tourism Area Life Cycle Model. Tourism industry is one of the biggest industries in the world. It is a very dynamic industry and it keeps on changing. The tourist attractions are often fragile and they require careful management. In the year 1980, one of the most prominent personality, Professor Richard W. Butler, he is a writer, a geographer and a professor of tourism. He came up with the tourism area life cycle model, which is based on the product life cycle concept. This model helps to study the changes of tourist attraction and how they are being changed on time. According to tourism area life cycle model, there are 6 stages, that is exploration, involvement, development, consolidation, stagnation, and after the stagnation stage, the attraction either goes into the decline stage or into the rejuvenation stage. This is a graphical representation of tourism area life cycle model where the x-axis represents time and the y-axis represents the number of tourists. Here you can see the attraction, the first stage of the attraction begins from the exploration stage, then it moves on to the involvement stage, development, consolidation, stagnation, and after the stagnation stage, it either goes into the decline stage or into the rejuvenation stage. So this is the first stage in the Butler's tourism area life cycle model, that is exploration. So the exploration stage, a potential tourist attraction is just identified. A new tourist attraction is just identified in the exploration stage and the government and local people begin to think about benefiting from tourism. Currently, in the exploration stage, they are not benefiting from tourism. They just begin to think about benefiting from tourism activities. And this marks the start of tourism planning. And in the exploration stage, there are very limited number of visitors because the destination is just being identified. So there are only very limited number of visitors. And in the particular stage, tourism is non-monetary for local people. That is, the local community is not at all benefiting from tourism in this particular stage. The Chindi and Sedan Valley in Himachal Pradesh, they are currently under the exploration stage. These are 2 attractions in Himachal Pradesh and they are the examples of exploration stage. This is a picture which represents Chindi village in Himachal Pradesh and this is Sedan Valley of Himachal Pradesh. These are the 2 examples of exploration stage. Both of these attractions are currently under the exploration stage. After the exploration stage, we move on to the next stage, that is the involvement stage. It marks the beginning of tourism development and you can find increased number of tourists in the particular destination. In the exploration stage, as the destination was just being identified, you can find only a very less number of tourists, and the involvement stage, the number of tourists visiting the particular attraction is increased. And the involvement of local people in tourism business. The local people start thinking of benefiting from tourism and they start businesses relating to or focusing to the tourist in the particular attraction. And marketing efforts are also being taken by the government as well as various travel agents, tour operators, etc. to promote the particular destination. And there is a pressure on authorities regarding the area development. A pressure for the development of the area is given to the authorities in the involvement stage. And as an example, some part of Assam is currently under the involvement stage. This is a picture representing Assam, which is currently under the involvement stage. After the exploration and involvement stage, we move on to the development stage where the attraction is now widely recognized and there is an increased involvement of investors and tourist companies. That is, a large number of hotels, resorts are set up in the particular destination. Also, a number of retailers, shops, establishments, etc. are set up in the particular destination, And cultural attractions and other facilities supplement the original attraction. That is, a large number of people are now actually visiting the particular destination for its cultural development and other facilities apart from the original destination and its natural beauty. And also in the development stage, local community might start to lose their control in the development of the area. Since there are a large number of tourists currently visiting the destination, the local community might start to lose their control as their privacy is being destroyed. An example for the development stage is Varkala in Thiruvananthapuram. Here you can see a large number of tourists. There are increased number of tourists in this particular destination. And now we move on to the consolidation stage, where the visitors are actually higher than the permanent residents of the local community. There are a large number of visitors where there are less permanent residents. And the local economy is dominated by tourism. That is, most of the local community or the local people, they are benefiting from tourism, or they are depending completely on tourism and tourism activities for their survival. And there is an impact of socio-cultural environment due to the large number of tourists where they are actually higher than the permanent residents. And also tourism activities are opposed by the local community. The local communities start to oppose tourism activities because their daily life is being destroyed, and they are really disturbed by the by the tourists and their activities. An example for consolidation stage is Goa. Here you can see a large number of tourists which are actually outsourcing the carrying capacity, and this particular destination is currently under the consolidation stage. And then we move on to the stagnation stage, where the attraction has reached maximum capacity. More number of visitors cannot be accommodated in the particular attraction. And here the local environment is polluted because of the increased number of tourists and tourism activities. The attractions depend on repeat visitation, because almost all majority of the people have already visited the destination once, and now the attraction completely depend on repeated visitation. And substantial marketing efforts are also required. Once the attraction had a lot of demand and there were a large number of visitors actually visiting the destination, and now because they are depending on repeated visitation, some more marketing efforts has to be taken for the attraction to be in demand. An example for stagnation stage is some attractions in Singapore had a relatively stagnant performance last few years. And I've added a picture of Singapore. This is Garden by the Bay in Singapore. After the stagnation stage, the attraction either goes into the decline stage or into the rejuvenation stage, depending upon the measures taken. So if the attraction is going into the decline stage, then now it is unable to compete with newer attractions, because people tend to visit newer attractions than they visit the attractions they have already visited earlier. And now this particular destination depends only on weekend and day trips. And also there is an increased involvement of permanent residents due to lesser number of visitors. Also, as the attraction has lost its demands, now the facilities are available in a cheaper price in this destination. An example for decline stage is Royal Opera House of Valletta, Malta. This is a picture of it. And after the stagnation stage, if the attraction is going into the rejuvenation stage, then this attraction requires a complete change, because man-made attractions can be introduced and can take advantage of previously untapped natural resources. If the people who have already visited the destination tend to visit it over and over again, then the particular destination needs some new attraction, and there must be something new to attract them towards it particular destination. And also this stage requires necessary governmental support also. An example for rejuvenation stage is Santiago in Chile, which has experienced a major transformation in the last few years. I've also added a picture of Santiago, that is in Chile, that is currently under the rejuvenation stage. So this is all about the Butler's tourism area life cycle model. Thank you all.